8, 9, 10. I think it is going now, guys. Part 2, are we live? Here, let me see if this has kicked back on. Hang on, let me just double check over here because it might be have created a whole new stream over on Rumble. Okay, I think it's going. Yes. What's up, everybody? Okay, pardon me. What a mess. I wonder if my D live stream is back up. All right, guys. So that means that we're back. We're back, guys. Let me. All right. So I was talking with Joe from Phoenix, Arizona, when I was so rudely interrupted, not by an assassination attempt like Trump was rudely interrupted by an assassination attempt, but by the stream going down. That's not right. It's not right. But we're back. So let me check to see if Joe from Phoenix, Arizona is on the line. I was like, oh, what happened, Joe? Like your phone went out. Come off of mute, you boomer. Joe from Phoenix, Arizona, are you there? Oh, no. Checking, testing. Hold on. Joe, are you there? Hello. No, I don't hear Joe from Phoenix, Arizona. Let me put him on hold, and we will see. There may be, maybe this is Joe from Phoenix. What a mess. Let's find out. Best timing for Murphy's Law. Interesting. I blame the unchristian people. Check on Joe from Phoenix, would you? Thank you. Okay. Anyway, guys, I have some super chats to read. It was a mess, but we got it going. Thank you to Nick, Anchor Baby, Joelle Friday, Doug, and no thanks to Bill. No, I'm kidding. Bill's helpful too. So let me get to these super chats here. Ring. Over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report, based America First, says Hippy Dippy Roundtable debates cause political division. Because Hippy Dippy Roundtable's debate prompt was, what's the cause of our political division? And I said, because everybody's a woman. We're all a bunch of women now. Whether they were conservatives, so-called, manly conservatives, manly thinking, sensible conservative, we're still acting like women, judging the liberals and judging one another and infighting. That's lame stuff. Shout out to the women. I did shout out the women. It's anger. It's not, whatever. Anyway, so Base America First continues Hake's position summary. It's anger. Government and corporations united against the people. Media exploits anger. And then there's 60 minutes of yelling, interruption, and insults ensue. Rashad Crenshaw, he's the black guy. Rashad Crenshaw's anger quoted Trump exactly saying they should go back to their crime-infested countries. To Rashad's credit, he looked up the quote, which was different. Indeed. President Sunday, ? Was so angry he left early. Yeah, President Sunday was a mess. He's like, Mr. More Perfect Union, I want you after this debate to sit there alone in your homeless truck, alone, and think about your life. You're wasting your time being on a debate panel when you should be making better decisions and not being homeless, a homeless veteran bum. And then Dylan Burns was like, whoa, that's too far for me. Not too far for the show, he later clarified, but too far for me, because my mother was homeless and her intransigence or whatever he said contributed to her early death, untimely death. We don't bash people for being homeless. But I thought President Sunday was making an interesting point about being alone I mean, I think that it's good to be alone. Then you're not hiding, running away, distracting yourself with being with people. You know how people sometimes have a high need for a lot of friends and stuff? More Perfect Union was often colorfully animated, but at least recommended ceramic instead of cardboard body armor for Dylan. Dylan Burns asks, what's the best body armor? Ceramic, not cardboard. Nice, Base America First. I appreciate that. Sweet. That's the those are the coffees. Oh, that's whoa. Pardon that noise. Okay, so that was over there. Thank you, man. And I did see. Oops, cancel. I did see other super chats from Lin Yen Chin. Lord Goodhair, revise with JLP the center sentence of my last super chat, but a little slower than you read it the first time. Yeah, I know you want to get it over with. I black. Yes, Joel, I a mess. Twinkle, twinkle, little toes, prancing, prancing over ma'am. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin, who said, I reckon that emotions are just electrical patterns that pulse as colors of pure soul, per soul. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin. And by the way, little tip. Did you know that you can buy coffees? I know you're resistant, and I understand wanting to stick to one thing and see what works. But you can buy coffees, and then you can see them and revise them. You can even edit your coffees, I heard. Seems like. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin, for the support for me and JLP. I do pass it along. Very kind. Shout out to the D-Live crew. We are back. And what a mess. Terrible. How do you know? Okay. The internet dropping wasn't God. I knew you clowns were going to say that. LOL. So you can call in 1-888-775-3773. Let me just make sure that I am connected properly to the phones. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully am I going well on, here, yeah. Oh. Yes. Okay. What a mess. That was rough. I'm a little thrown off, but let's talk about these insane, evil women, and hopefully it can be something enlightening. Hopefully we can bring some light into the situation. Would that be good? I think it would be. By the way, do catch Joel Friday TV. He is coming on at, when is he coming on? 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. It's kind of like church, but it's Joel Friday. Church is at 11 on Sundays. Joel Friday is on at 11 on Mondays. So this is older. Yeah, this is an older headline from the far left females at the Skim. Federal agency reaches a settlement over pregnancy discrimination. Why do they have this gal? Oh, I know why they have this gal. Because she's in Customs and Border Protection. Look at that cute arm jacket patch thing. Do you like hey guys, hey fellas, you like a woman in a uniform? Because the joke is that women fall for men in uniforms. I think it's a little bit degenerate, but, you know, it's kind of cute. Anyway. Customs and Border Protection. Federal agency reaches a settlement over pregnancy discrimination. I'm going to zoom in my own way. Pregnancy discrimination. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, reached a $45 million settlement. That's the government. Our money. Supposedly our money. Is it? With over 1,000 female employees last Monday. agreed to update their policy for pregnant workers, so-called workers, right? The case against Customs and Border Protection, CBP, dates back to at least 2016 under the Obama administration, by the way. 2016, right, was Obama. He was in there until January 2017 when Trump took over, with hundreds of employees alleging that the agency routinely downgraded their positions upon learning of their pregnancies. The women, at least they admit that they're women, instead of pregnant people, said that maybe I shouldn't remind them, said they were placed on light duty regardless of their ability to do their work. Which is a good thing, because if you don't put them on light duty, then they could miscarry or something, and then they'll sue you. So you're darned if you do, and you're darned if you don't. Shout out to the government. Undermining their career growth and ability to earn overtime pay. I'm pregnant, but I can still work overtime. CBP did not admit wrongdoing, but as part of a settlement to be finalized next month, the agency will train all managers and supervisors on the rights, quote unquote, communist buzzword, by the way, of pregnant employees. The lawyers representing the female employees will also monitor the agency's compliance for 3 years. Oh, Lord, the lawyers/liars. One lawyer involved in the case told the failing New York Slimes, the settlement highlights the need to create work environments that support pregnant employees, demonstrates the importance of having laws like the 1978 Pregnancy Discrimination Act and the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act that went into effect just last year. 5,300 discrimination charges filed every year, pregnancy discrimination, but only about 2% reported to federal or state regulators per 2021 analysis. Customs and Border Protection's discrimination, righteous discrimination, took place in a male-dominated workplace. Only about less than a quarter, 24% of Customs and Border Patrol employees are women, per recent agency statistics. But it can happen anywhere, even workplaces committed to empowering women. What a mess. The WNBA allegedly discriminated against one of its pregnant employees. The WNBA from Commie Nonsense Network. Derica Healy. Check this out. This gal got pregnant and she was discriminated against. Aw, look at that face. She looks like she would, get married and have babies. Mildly attractive, light-skinned black gal. Derica Hamby, D-E-A-R-I-C-A, Hamby, won a bronze medal in the women's 3x3 basketball tournament. If this is the woman who actually had it. WNBA star, they use the term very loosely. Derica Hamby, well, she's a star in my book. Look at her. Look at that face. Files a lawsuit against, I don't care, because she's presumably married and already had a child. Former team over alleged treatment while pregnant. Lord. Little update from last Tuesday, the 13th. Kevin Dotson and Steve Almasi report on this gal. 3-time WNBA All-Star. You could say all around one of the best players, but they're not stars. But anyway, filed a discrimination and unlawful retaliation lawsuit Monday against the league. Oh, and I wonder if there's any truth to that, because what people claim is that the WNBA is not for the straights, the straight gals. But I don't really care. Federal lawsuit subjected to repeated acts of intimidation, discrimination, retaliation. 2023 January. Aces, trading Hamby, blah, 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 to the L.A. Sparks. Oh, she went to L.A. Sparks. Because the star forward was pregnant. I mean, you can't play pregnant that much. The WNBA took no steps to correct or address clear-cut violation of her rights under federal and state anti-discrimination law. What a mess. Don't you see the mess that these anti-discrimination laws are? Whatever. She'd been lied to, bullied, manipulated, discriminated against. And a pregnant woman is sometimes pregnant women, don't they get hysterical sometimes? Or am I wrong? What a mess. Anyway, I believe Joe from Phoenix is back on the line here. Joe from Phoenix, thank you for calling and holding and calling back. Pardon that rude interruption.
Yeah, I figured Himmler called it a drone strike or something.
Yeah, I'm glad that you think that he's so successful and powerful to do a drone strike. He is a successful white man, and he's also your Christian brother.
We disagree on all that, but funny you bring that up, because as usual, he and others were lying about me, saying that. I said, just right-wing. I said, name me a far right-wing extremist that's successful. I was thinking like a David Duke or a loser like Rockwell. You can't find any of those, it was my point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, but so you don't consider Trump to be right-wing extremist?
No, I wouldn't say that. He knows where to draw the line, at least politically.
So Trump is not an extremist, just to get totally clear.
Right-wing extremist? I would not say no. I would say no.
Oh,
I haven't seen any evidence of that.
He's in the extreme center?
He's extremist on some topics, I would imagine, but I wouldn't say that he's out there wearing a white hood.
But who is? Who is out there wearing a white hood?
I imagine Himmler would be.
Oh, Lord. No, he was in the... I think he supported the American N party. But other than that, I don't know.
All the same ignorance. But
okay.
Did you see in Georgia where they had taken down a Confederate monument a couple of years ago, and just recently they put up a statue in the same place of John Lewis?
What? What type of statue did they put in the same place as John Lewis? So there's a statue of John Lewis?
There's a statue of John Lewis where there used to be a Confederate monument.
Oh, that's a slap in the face, isn't it? Isn't that an in-your-face to the whites?
I don't think it's to the whites, James. I think it's a good thing.
Wait, isn't it an in-your-face?
No, I wouldn't say it is an in-your-face.
You don't think it's trying to be insulting and being like, there's a new boss in town type of stuff?
What I think, James, I know I got a lot of, not to say a lot, but a few callers calling in last Friday lying about me and saying false things and just full of hatred and ignorance. And I think that basically the reason why I get so much hate in your shows because I'm like the human embodiment of what happened there in Georgia. Times are changing, the world is changing, the country is changing. And for some of your listeners, that's very upsetting.
Are you gloating?
Not gloating at all, not one bit. Just stating reality.
What a mess.
All right. If you will allow, I told you about a month or so ago that I've been re-engaged in some things in Washington, D.C., yeah?
Yeah, you've been talking about your connections and stuff.
Not the connections, no.
Oh.
I am not on a committee right now, but I have been asked to consult on an issue I think you'll be interested in. I'm sure you heard of the Keystone pipeline and how Biden stopped it when he got in office, yeah?
I heard about that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you know it's a very, very contentious issue.
Right. Is that mainly because of the environmentalists versus the people who want our energy independence in America?
Oh my goodness, it's so deep. I mean, I won't bore you with all the legalese of it, but yeah, on one hand, you have people saying it's good for America, it's going to bring jobs, help with energy independence. On the other hand, people saying it's environmental impact and it's violating a lot of rights with Native Americans and the land.
Right.
Even going back to the treaty days, and they're even saying that's going to have a negative impact on Wounded Knee. Are you familiar with the Wounded Knee massacre?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Okay. So,
is there like a site preserved for it to be like, hey, let's get along now, we're sorry, type of thing?
I don't know about I'm sorry, but there's a site, yes.
Okay. A site meant to bring peace between America and one of these Indian nations. Lakota people.
The Lakota people, yeah.
Yeah.
But even though the pipeline was stopped, there's still a huge fight going on. And I mean, just nasty, knockdown, drag-out fight that the Lakota and other tribes are doing right now to make sure it never comes back. And as you might imagine, on the other hand, there are people who are fighting tooth and nail to make sure it does come back. So it's just, you got all this stuff going on right now. And that's what I've been called in to consult about, which has been fascinating to learn it all.
Because you get along with both sides, purportedly?
I'm on one side, but I won't tell you which.
Okay.
If I told you, James, that, you know what, I don't believe Wounded Knee happened or didn't happen the way the history books said it did.
Right.
All right. And then you ask me, well, Joe, we need this pipeline. It is going to help, and there is some evidence that it would help with more jobs and energy and all that. We need that. What should be done with these modern-day Lakota who are fighting so hard to stop it again? And I said to you, well, James, perhaps we should have another modern-day Wounded Knee.
Whoa.
You would know exactly what I'm talking about, even though I personally say I don't believe what happened. The original one happened.
Oh, you're trying to make a point about the FS.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I don't think you're making that's like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's a fair thing.
Fair. That's funny on your show. So for all you people clutching your pearls and worrying about what I say about, it would be a good thing that the evil that is Himmler would cease to exist in this world. You're all very quiet about his endorsing of the Einl solution A.
That's not even a fair thing because that's not even a fair thing. It's not even a fair thing for you to be bringing that up.
Why is that?
Because first of all, if you agree that it is in any sense a in your face to the whites, this whole there's a new thing in town, then you agree that it's wrong.
Wait. The statue, you mean?
Yeah, the statue stuff and all the stuff that they're doing to the whites right now. And
well, James, hold on.
Right.
Please. I don't think taking down Confederate statues is doing anything to the quote unquote whites.
There's a lot that's going on though, more than just that. But that is one of many evil things that is a pretense of good.
A pretense of good.
Yeah, they're pretending like they're for what's good. They're pretending like this is about unity and stuff like that. But it's not about unity at all. It's about encouraging.
Why not? Because white people can respect John Lewis also, James.
What's that?
White people can respect John Lewis also.
There's nothing respectable about John Lewis.
Why would you say that?
Because he was a misguided misanthrope. He was no better than Mark from Los Angeles.
Wow, that's quite the statement.
Yep, and it's a fact.
Well, you're welcome to your opinion on that.
No, it's a fact. I just said it's a fact. It's not an opinion.
No, it's your opinion.
No, it's a fact. John Lewis was an angry, bitter, immature, lame divider, not a uniter.
How did he divide, James? I mean, he was a civil rights legend.
That's divisive, dividing for evil. Civil rights, so-called civil rights, is all about bitterness and anger. And it's not fair. Treat us fair. I am a man. That's pathetic. And that's evil. And he wanted to stir up, quote unquote, good trouble. Or I don't know if that was him or somebody else, but yeah, see? Evil person. The civil rights movement was communist. It was based in anger. It was the young, dumb people, by the way, and the communists. The older people knew that it was a mess. The whites and blacks were already starting to come together naturally or not come together if they didn't want to, which is their right.
James, do you know what the Civil Rights Bill was?
Yeah, it was evil.
No, like literally what it says.
Come back to your phone. It said something like no discrimination or something stupid like that. Something evil and divisive like that.
Do you know that it protects you as well?
Yeah, and that's evil. It's stupid. Don't you think that it's evil and stupid to say, oh, you can't discriminate? That's mama spirit. You're allowed to discriminate.
Sure, in your personal life, discriminate away. Discriminate all you want to. But when it comes to education and...
Get rid of the education stuff. The education has gone downhill thanks to evil civil rights and thanks to evil communist government taking over.
And you do realize when you discriminate and when you don't allow people to progress in life, it causes more problems down the line, right?
You allow people to progress by leaving them alone. You allow people to progress or fail.
Discriminate.
No, discrimination is leaving them alone.
What?
Yes. You're not forced to serve anybody.
James, when you say you can't go to this school or you can't buy this house or you can't have a business here because of your skin color.
Yeah, you're leaving them alone and you're telling them to leave you alone.
No, you're preventing them from doing what they want to do.
Not true. Nope. No, they can go somewhere else and do it.
Well, who are you to tell someone where they can and cannot go?
I'm not telling anybody where they can and cannot go. That's the neighborhood. The neighborhood is telling people where they can or cannot go.
Who are they to do that?
They're the people who run their own neighborhood.
Okay, so then when that neighborhood changes and the people want to discriminate against you, you're fine with that, huh?
That's what happens. That's life. It already happens all the time. Discrimination has not gone away. It's just discrimination against what people have a right to do instead of for discrimination based on what's right.
But you just said that whites are being discriminated against, and you don't like that.
There's discrimination based on what's right, and there's discrimination based on what's evil, and that's what John Lewis was all about. He was about discrimination for what's evil. He was a snake in the grass.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And he was not an honorable person at all.
That's okay. You can feel that way.
He was worse than any of the Confederates.
I know you're trying to provoke me, James, but I'm not going to rise to it. I'll simply say we disagree on that. That's all.
And you're a black Republican, right?
I am. I have a almost 30-year now track record of proving it. So
who voted for Obama twice, right?
Based on what he did, yes.
Based on what he did. He hadn't done anything and you voted for him, right?
James, he was a senator for 2 years.
And he did nothing good as a senator for 2 years.
Oh, he did.
No, he was a Democrat. He was for abortion, and he was for the LGBT. Did you know that he was for gay marriage?
His position evolved on that. At first, he was against it. Then, when
No.
he wanted to run for being a senator, he was for it.
No, you're wrong.
Which he had to be. No, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong. JLP is on record, on local news here, saying Obama is for so-called same-sex marriage. And the woman tried to fact check him. The woman she was basically a Joe from Phoenix trying to say, oh, he's not. And it turned out, indeed, he was for it all along. His position didn't change. His stated position changed. But we knew all along, Sean Hannity knew, JLP knew, and Joe from Phoenix is pretending that he didn't know.
Yeah, well, JLP also said that Obama was fine with babies dying on athletes.
Which is also true.
Which is 100% false.
Nope, it's absolutely true. He doesn't care about babies. Didn't he kill an American and his son? So-called American. He doesn't care about killing. He supports abortion.
So then you're admitting he was tough on the terror over there then, because I'm assuming you're talking about the drone strike?
Yeah, he did a drone strike on a couple of quote-unquote Americans. I'm not admitting he was tough on terror. I'm just saying that he was very pro-abortion and he loved killing. He's like, I'm getting pretty good at drone strikes. Reportedly, he said something like that.
Well, he did drone strike the heck out of ISIS, yes.
No, he invented ISIS. He and Hillary Clinton are the co-founders of ISIS. He loves killing.
Jesse's talking points, but
no, that's not Jesse's talking point. Trump said that. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are the co-founders of ISIS. They were arming ISIS and all that stuff. You're laughing, but it's the fact. Trump just decimated ISIS. ISIS was at a height when Obama was in there.
Trump should be worried about September 18th.
Just like what's happening in America around the world now is the crime and the terror and the wars are out of control.
Okay, James. You have a Civil Rights Act of 1964 banned discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin.
Which is evil. They should not have banned any of that.
So you're fine discriminating based on religion and national origin, because that would affect you too.
Yes, they should be able to do whatever they want. The government has no say. It was a power grab, and you're either blind or you're dishonest in not realizing that it's a federal government power grab to meddle in the lives of local free people.
James, I know you say you don't really know history, but every time people are discriminated against and limited in how far they can progress in life, it leads to violent insurrections and violent revolutions. Not a good idea.
Are you acknowledging that that's what's happened? What happened to the Trump supporters and to the whites? That they're being discriminated against, and they're trying to provoke the whites to violence?
So you're saying discrimination against the whites is not good?
Are you admitting that that's what's happening to the whites? They're trying to provoke the whites because they're discriminating. And they're discriminating based on evil.
No.
And they're pretending.
That's what's happened.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to acknowledge the truth like ever.
Okay. Can you give me an example? I really do want to understand your point of view on this.
I don't think
you do.
How are
the whites being discriminated against? Can you give me an example? Just one.
I think I'm done, Joe in Phoenix. We'll talk again. We'll save that for another conversation.
All right. I know you're sensitive to keeping me on too long, so I will go. I just want to mention that the last 2 times you had Himmler on, it was more than 20 minutes also. So.
All right, Joe in Phoenix.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye. Speaking of, I got to get to Mark in Los Angeles, California. Mark, are you there? What's up?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Very good. I got to hurry up. I haven't got much time. That sick scoundrel that you just hung up on lied about the civil rights bill. It was for all, but when affirmative action came in, that was targeted at white people. And, okay, so that ends that. John Lewis was a criminal. John Lewis was a civil writer who righteously got his head busted in Selma. Rockwell confronted that devil on many occasions.
Why do you call him a criminal?
Because he broke the law in Selma. The police said, don't cross this bridge, and that devil did, and he got his head busted for it. He was a criminal. He hated white people, just like the caller that you just hung up on. And this whole civil rights stuff started in 1928. by the Communist Party.
Wow.
They were the first. The Communist Party. They had a convention in Michigan, and they adopted a civil rights plank. They were the first political organization in the U.S. to adopt a civil rights plank, and then the Democrats copied from them about 20 years later.
What a mess.
And do you notice how your scoundrel co-host changed his view on Trump when asked to name a successful right-winger? In any other setting other than this, he would have called Trump a Nazi. But because he wants to pretend that he was asking a different question of Hayden than what I heard, he's just he's a phony. He'll change his argument to win. He hates white people. I don't care if his goat is white or not. But he hates white people. You know what I'm trying to say with that.
Oh, yeah, I disavow
don't want
that.
to get too vulgar. Well, that's okay. I didn't say it anyway. But he's an evil man. He is worse than any black nationalist. A black nationalist, you know where they're coming from. And in most cases, I agree with black nationalists. But a scoundrel like him that want to marry into our race and poison it with his seed.
Well, that's not fair because he's already mixed.
He's poisoned. He's already
I know. So
poisoned.
then what? So what are mixed people supposed to do? Like look for other mixed people, or just go to black, or what if they
black? Yeah, either go to just stay away from the white.
But what if they want their children to be whiter than them?
Well, we can't do anything about it, but they used to have.
Because there's a lot of Anchor Baby has called out in Mexico. They do a lot of classes in terms of how mulatto you are or whatever, and they try to marry whiter, and so they have more generations of white to calm down all that color.
Right. Well, I don't know if that'll work. The best thing to do is just separate the races.
And that's not how Joe thinks anyways. He thinks based on fake love. He fell in love.
No, you see, the devil will use love when he really means hate. And if this guy isn't Satan on earth, the clown co-host here, I don't know who is. Look at the people he supports. John Lewis, criminal, white hater. He wanted to force.
So you call him a criminal because of rioting, but he was evil because he pushed evil like the whole time. He was. I don't mind him being out in the streets being a dummy, but then he became a dummy in the Congress or Senate.
Yeah, he was totally evil. He's for the invasion at the southern border. He's for affirmative action. He's a commie all the way down the line, just like the Joker that you just had on who calls himself a Republican. Yeah. Anybody can register and become a Republican. That's meaningless. He's even more of a minority in the Republican Party, thank God, than he is as a Negro in American society.
Yeah.
But I noticed with all of his calls, there's that anti-white venom in his voice, like bragging about the Confederate flag, a symbol of white heritage, being torn down and replaced by the devil. You might as well take God down and replace him with Satan. That's what that guy is basically saying. That's my analogy to what he wants. Take God out and replace it with the devil. Because when you take the Confederate flag out and you replace it with a monster like Lewis, virtually that's what you're doing.
Okay, so and then I have to run in like 2-3 minutes. I know, I apologize. I got carried away with Joe. It happens a lot. So he clearly is back at you in your face, whites. The world is changing, and in his mind it's changing for the better, and he's admitting, seemingly tacitly almost, acknowledging that there is some in your face to the white man going on with Obama and all that stuff. So his justification is, well, you're pushing hatred because you pushed that phrase before that we won't repeat, but solution.
Oh, that's all he's got.
Let's hear what you say that solution is in PG terms, if you can.
My final solution would be to separate the races, not gassing Jews, which is what he's trying to imply. That's not my definition. And that scoundrel is not going to define what I say. He may try to do that to get you canceled, but he won't succeed because I'm careful in what I say. I can't really say what I want because of the censors, but I could talk around it, and that devil knows it. So he's the one that's going to get you censored, not me.
No, I know, but I'm not talking about the censorship or anything. I'm bringing that up because some of what you're saying, some of the stuff that you say is motivated by hatred and vitriol, which is what he has. And so he's saying you're speaking out of hatred and vitriol, whether or not you mean anything by whether or not you mean some evil thing being done to other people when you said that phrase.
I've never advocated anybody's death.
Okay.
He has, me in particular.
I know, but you've kind of been like just talking about using the term "bringing to justice" as like a euphemism for
committed a crime, like the guy who killed Lincoln Riley, or the monster in England who killed the little girls.
Yeah.
They should be brought to justice, and if they lynch them, that's fine with me. I wanted to say something.
I disavow that though, because first of all,
that's for the station. I know.
Yeah, partly for the station, but also because that's not the right way that civilized men do justice.
Christian Klansmen used it against black rapists.
They may. I can't take a stance on that because I don't know what the justice system was back then, and I don't know anything from those times, and I don't.
Okay.
I acknowledge that it was supposedly for crimes, and hopefully they knew that they were actually guilty and not falsely accused. But still, it's better to go about the civilized way.
Sure, I agree. I wanted to point out one other thing before you go. Most of those rioters in Britain were members of the Labour Party. That's the left party.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
They're white working people. The white working class are the most discriminated against and hated by people like your co-host. They hate the white middle class because we vote conservative, we live our lives conservatively, and he can't stomach it. And by the way, before you go, I know you mentioned earlier in the show, you questioned whether I was in the military. Yes, I'm honorably discharged, and I won't give the branch because we got a couple of clowns, I think they're gay, that are in the chat that are trying to dox me. And I'm not going to give the branch, but I served honorably for our country. Did that scoundrel in Arizona serve for this country's army? He may have served in some other army, but I doubt if he was ever in our military. But I could be wrong, I'll admit that. But he lies so much, you couldn't believe a word that he says. So, yeah, I've never been on welfare. I've never collected a food stamp.
I got to run, man.
I've never got any kind of aid from the government. I've worked my whole life without any support from anybody but me. So I speak as a proud white American.
Nice.
Stop the invasion at the border. Vote for Trump. And just to end this, again, I want to make this point clear, that under any other argument, under any other debate, he would have called Trump a Nazi, let alone a right-wing extremist. But because I was able to call his bluff when he asked Caden about to name a individual who was a right-wing extremist, well, and again, in any other setting, Trump would have been a right-wing extremist. Because we blew his question with a correct answer, he's scrambling to change the question.
Whatever, man. Okay,
No,
thank you.
true.
I appreciate it, Mark in Los Angeles. It's good to hear from you. Have a nice weekend and watch yourself.
Have
Take
a nice
care.
week.
Oh, have a
Thank
nice
you.
week. Yeah, not weekend.
And shout out to Steve Sal. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I got to end. Joel Friday TV coming up next. Rick in Hampton, Virginia. Wanted to talk about the DNC mess going on in the world. Shall we do Against Automation? Against Automation by Ampere. This is hopefully pretty good, guys. I got to end. And again, Joel Friday TV coming up next. Thank you, Lincoln Lewis. He says, excellent show. That's kind. Okay, guys.
Your heart's an only thing. You stand in front of God. Demon from your spirit. Take your own death. Tonight.
It's Christian, not.
You wanted our escape.
Well, thanks again, guys. Adios, America. I'll have to read I am remiss. I'll have to read your coffees tomorrow. Bye. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye.